Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. It's Bruce Jordan, the Mike Jordan Hotels. And this episode is sponsored by Click Connect. Join us in March where we celebrate the great state of California and the hotel market over in California. Go to clickconnect.com or just look at the link in the Bobby's video to get more information about that conference. Today, we're going to be talking about social media for hotels, what they're doing, the do's and don'ts, what they shouldn't do, and how we can keep that reach growing. We have the great Sarah, and you can't forget this guy right here. We got Scott Eddie in the house. You see Sarah on my show before, so you already know what time it is. Sarah, what's going on? How you doing?
Hi, thanks for letting me join the conversation.
Crash the party.
Oh, I guess, as always, it's not a party until it's a Sarah Danish. Okay, you're welcome.
Can we do an outro of her dancing? Like, I'm just saying, like, and then you do the pull away. I can bring the drone in here. We can do like a flyaway.
Oh, you know what? I have the drone right here. We'll do it.
Let's go.
Right in the building.
That'd be cool.
So, Sarah, how did you get started on social media? Of course, you know the first question. How did you get started?
Oh, yeah. Well, many years ago, probably, I really started doing a deep dive in probably 2012 as a business. I joined Facebook back in 2004 because I was part of the original group of colleges that Facebook was open to. So I'm not trying to age myself, but I just did. 2012, I basically started. I was doing a writing course and I was asked to do a video blog series, and something I was an expert in. And I naively thought, well, I'm a concierge, but what do I know? And I started doing videos on what to eat, see, do in LA. I came up with the title Ask a Concierge, really like on the fly. And that's when I started just going all over social media. And one of the big platforms actually was Twitter. And fun fact,
That's where we went. 2008, 2009, something like that when I first joined. Yeah.
yeah. No, I think it was a little bit after that when we finally connected.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I created Ask a Concierge 2012. But yeah. Yeah, I'm just behind you, Scott, just trying to be as cool as you.
And Scott, how did you get started in social media?
So I got started, I mean, it was just a big fluke. I was working at an investment banking firm and they sold my firm. So I resigned. And the guy who's sitting next to me, his best friend was an expat working in Bangkok. And he always used to tell me to come visit. And when they sold the firm, he called me the next day. He's like, get your butt over here. You know, you have no job now. And I bought a 2-week ticket. After 4 days, I called my mom. I said, send me everything. I'm never coming back. And I lived in Bangkok for 11 years.
Wow.
And I was there when social media started.
Mm-hmm.
So I was one of the first people on Twitter. I mean, like first 2,000-3,000 people. And Twitter was really how I blew up my brand. I just, there was no such thing as the term influencer. There was no such thing as personal brand. You didn't know what you were doing. You were just posting. You were just tweeting.
Yeah, but I remember at the time, it was very much like understanding the short shelf life that social media had. And it's like, just try anything. And I wasn't scared, and I know you weren't, about just trying different things. Like if there was a good reaction, cool, maybe we do more of it. If there wasn't, then it's like, okay, maybe we do less of that. And it's so long as you didn't do anything that was like bad or defamatory, you just play and try everything. And just the whole thing, what I always found is that the more that you were kind of like, I'm doing this for me. Like if you do it for you, there's going to be an audience that follows it. Not trying to follow trends or this or that, but like really something that kind of like you really genuinely enjoy.
Yeah.
That goes through that people.
Well, that's where you actually pick up your niche audience.
Well, totally.
So if you always trying to think what other people want, like following the trends, use this song. Oh, they want 7 seconds now. Let me do 7 seconds. Like, come on, they're doing that because that sells more ads. They're not doing it to benefit you.
Correct.
Do you? People still watch. I love when people say attention spans are very short these days. Yeah, it might be shorter, but people still binge watch a whole season on Netflix.
Yep.
People still watch a 3-hour podcast episode on YouTube.
Longer videos on YouTube for sure.
So let me tell you, I love long form. I am not afraid to upload a 5 or 10 minute video, or, sometimes my walkthroughs. So it's the first video I do when I stay at a hotel is a walk through the room, and there's no edits. It's just one continuous flow. And I am not scared to make that thing 3 or 4 minutes. and they do tremendous.
You know what? One thing that I do love is your hotel reviews. But I feel like a lot of hotels, they don't really eat the value when it comes to hiring.
They're terrible.
Like they really have no idea. Like they're thinking that you're gonna post one time and make $1 million for both.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work like that. But a lot of the hotels, they're starting to come around. They're really starting to catch on before the competition.
It's still a very small number. It's ridiculous that we're in 2024 and you still have the blind thinking like that.
And I think people have to understand the long-term relationships that you have with different creators. You know, it's like, it's not going to be just a one and done sort of situation. I mean, yes, somebody could post a video and yes, it could go viral, but it's like, there's so much more to it. And that's just that's a numbers game. And that it really is about creating a partnership with a creator that matches, like they speak the same sort of language, they have the same tone, they would be as the type of clients that you're wanting to have, type of guests that you want to have at your property. I think all too often they're like, oh, this person has so many followers, and but it's like, okay, well,
That means nothing.
yes, exactly. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to convert. And also similarly is that hotels definitely need to take ownership in the content that they're creating. You know, there are many times that I've worked with great companies and I'll create content, we'll do a collaboration. They're like, oh, we were hoping for more followers. I'm like, well, they don't want to just follow you just because we collaborated. What is your voice as a entity on the internet that they want to continue to follow? So I think a lot of times, hotels and brands need to understand like what they're bringing to the table, and then it's just they need to have their own voice, and then collaboration. That's when you can really magnify your presence online.
I just think that with hotels, the only time that they're actually going to get serious is if they hire a social media person, don't give them 100 other job responsibilities, and then social media falls last. Just give them social media, and then that's it. That's their job. And until you do that, you're really not going to see the ROI that you really could get.
I love both of your points, but one thing that you really one takeaway, especially when it comes to collaboration, if it's one-sided, it's not a collaboration. Like that's me saying, okay, you're gonna do all the work, I'm gonna get out of it, but that's not a collaboration.
Yeah, that is true.
So I collab all the time, and I love doing collabs. And the problem I have is the brand may or may not comment, and they might just comment once, and then there's 150 other comments. There'll be questions in there about the property. I'll end up having to answer them. Like, dude, you're leaving ROI on the table. Like it's mental.
Yep.
And then they complain social media doesn't work. Well, you have to do the work before it works.
Social media is not a one-way street.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's a pipeline of communication. It's a two-way tunnel.
I mean, how many times have you, I don't know about you, but like I've followed brands or different pages because I'm like, oh, I like either what they're posting or I like how they respond. Great example, TSA. The TSA Instagram,
Oh, it's amazing.
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 TSA, what that would not be,
Yeah.
it's not like a cool, sexy brand. It's not
It's unbelievable. It's so,
phenomenal job.
their team is awesome.
They're funny. They have little snarky comments. They know how to make fun just right, And so if somebody is a hotel or a property can invest in something like that,
Yeah.
game changer. People come for the comment section.
Listen, hotels always ask me, okay, show me somebody who's doing it good. Forget about the hotel industry. Look at junk food. Look at Oreos. Look at Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King. Just all of that. They're amazing.
What it is,
They're so good.
they have personality.
Yeah.
And so that's what each of these properties need is that they need to have personality. You're more than just a building with maybe a pool and some palm trees or whatever you might be offering. Figure out what that personality is and have fun with it. Because again, that's what people come to hotels because they come for the people. So what is that, the people aspect that you are portraying online?
Yeah, the box means nothing. Everybody starts with a box. And then how much money you put into it. Is it luxury? Is it limited services? Whatever. But you have to have a personality. If you don't, you're done.
You guys are like two of the top hotel personalities out there.
Well, Sarah is pretty fancy.
I'm pretty tall.
Yeah. You got her in the frame here. Like you have to. Should we move the camera back a little?
And I'm sitting down. You see the camera for her sparkling right away. What are some of the steps that hotels need to take to bring on more influencers and maybe start hiring influencers to come on board to be a part of that equation?
I would say part A, before you even start hiring influencers to come in, hire a person to do social.
Yes.
It is 2024. The world is digital.
That is true.
I mean, it is the most important pipeline of communication. You know, there is a reason that in developing countries, if they plan a coup, they block out radio, TV, newspapers, and social media. So you're telling me, yeah, it's sort of like a jammer.
Yeah.
So they can't, whatever, manipulate anything. So you're telling me that social media has the power to overturn a country, but it can't sell a hotel room? Come on. Come on.
But yeah, I mean, going
Like,
back
are
to
you kidding me?
what Scott said, it's like make sure that you've got somebody hired, whether it's and ideally somebody that is on property or can come on property, so that you have like real content.
There's somebody in house.
Yeah, hire somebody in house, or work with a company, but like get your brand on point first, and then hopefully like through them or whether you work with an outside company, then that's where you can start working with influencers.
Amplify your voice.
And yeah, and exactly. And, and it depends. And it's also understanding that, the different types of influencers or creators and what they might be delivering. And I love also that you said a very key word here is hiring. So, because not everybody is going to do stuff for trade, and understand that, like, yes, you might have some creators that might do something for trade. Maybe they're, growing their brand or this. And then you've got others that are far more developed, or they're offering deliverables that is more than just an Instagram post. Like, yes, we'll do an Instagram post, but we're going to give you photos and videos that you can end up using. So they should really keep their mind open that these creators can really help them create marketing materials, and that they should absolutely have a budget to work with the right creators for that.
Nice. Do you recommend a certain percentage, or is it usually something more flat as far as where their marketing budget should go for? So
It depends. Every property is different. Every destination's different. Every property's different. Depends on the time of year. It depends on everything.
Yeah, it's so hard to just pinpoint that, because again, it depends on the market, depends on the type of hotel, whether they're, let's say you've got a hotel that's like super big for the holidays, then they have a whole Christmas setup and they want to attract that crowd. So different. So I mean, if they obviously have the right,
There's no standard cut rate.
they're gonna know.
Yeah, there's no.
tell me about seasonal content. I know a lot of content is seasonal, especially depending on the location. What have you seen that works the best versus something that'll work in New York that would never work in LA?
Well, when it comes to seasonal, it's like, you always want to try and get that content out as early as possible at like the start of the season, again, to like, it's creating that awareness. I've worked with a lot of big brands that I do a good amount of family content. And they'll have me come out.
You have a family?
I do have a family.
Okay.
But like for example, like I'll even just say, like, I've worked with like Gaylord hotels, and if anybody knows a Gaylord property, they go all out for the holidays, and it's
They go crazy.
and all of their different locations do something different. And so it's always a big thing that it's like we get there right at the start, if not a couple of days before it officially opens, the day it opens, and we're starting to push out content. Just so again, it maximizes visibility. So seasonal, you just obviously want to just hit things at the head with enough time.
Yeah, and I would add that you need to start planning this literally like 6-8
Yes.
months in advance. That way you're not rushing at the last minute. You already know what kind of budget, like I would definitely recommend, after you shoot the content, then what are you going to do with the content? Are you going to boost the post? Do you have ad spend set aside for it? Like know the plan before you reach out to anybody. You know what I mean? But definitely give it enough time. Like I've been called 2 weeks before they want to shoot something. Oh, this just came up. And I'm like, what? But Christmas happens every year. Like, why would it just come up? You don't know, you didn't know it was in December? Like it's crazy.
To devil's advocate, maybe they could have come up with a new plan at the last minute. But I know most of the time for any of these big things, I know, and I know that you are the same way. It's not like we're booked out several months in advance just in preparation for that. So
That makes sense. That makes sense. One of the things we have some newbies here, so of course I have to add some of the basic stuff. Content calendar. What should it look like? What should be on there? Anything that you can get.
want to go?
No, go.
Okay. So I'm going to try and keep this as abbreviated as possible. Know your content pillars. So what type of content do you create? So you could start with just an easy 3. Everybody likes the rules of 3s. So what are the 3 types of things that you post? Like, are you posting, content about the rooms? Are you posting about the bar or like the rooftop pool, whatever, that sort of thing. So you're understanding your content. And then, we've got photos, then we've got videos, then we've got influencer content. And so whatever it is, create this, know your pillars, and then look at the month as a whole. Actually, look at a quarter and then look at the month, and then you can plan it by week. So basically start big and work small and put in the different initiatives that going into the year. So whether, okay, great. National Margarita Day is on February 22nd. We want to go ahead and make sure that we do stuff around that, or National Taco Day, whatever it might be. And then you kind of like can work backwards on that. Or that, we're going to do a seasonal sale for Black Friday. And so we've got this going on. So then that's these are your pillar contents for the different quarters. And then you just break it down. So that kind of makes it a little bit easier to look at it as a bigger strategy. But yeah.
So what I would say is understand what your goals are 6-12 months down the road.
Yes.
And then work backwards. If I want to achieve this, I need to do these steps and really put those things down on paper and really like get very, very specific.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And also, people are always, I don't know what to post. I need content ideas. I need this. I need that. There's so many little things that you can do. Make a big deal about nothing, right? How about National Valet Day and highlight one of your valet drivers?
Nice.
Or like, just like, okay, National Donut Day is coming up. Let's make a big deal. What's the biggest donut that we can make?
And you notice when it's fun. The whole thing is like, if you have fun with it, people want to buy fun, want to buy into fun.
You have to,
And that helps with personality.
listen, just like Carnival says, choose fun. It's literally just don't overthink it. It's the simplest thing.
The top mistakes that you seen, just one individual, the top mistake that you seen that hotels tend to make with their social media. I'll go first. The number one mistake that I seen with this hotel, they didn't highlight what they did better than everyone else. And that particular hotel had 3 private beaches. Nobody had.
Right.
On that island.
Yeah.
They never highlight. Like there were actually in the comments that have this description up.
Yeah, I mean, definitely highlighting the differences. I love that you mentioned that. I know Scott's spot. I'm going to answer for you, Scott. You were going to talk about engaging. Like they have to.
It kills me.
I know.
It kills me.
But I think so that to let you have that. Finding their own voice. Like they need to have their own voice. They are more than just a building. They are an experience. And if that experience could talk, what would it say? That's what hotels need to be doing.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to go back to engaging, but because, like it's very similar to if somebody comments in your post. So the first thing I do when I go to a brand, I'll do a quick stream of their content just to see what it's like, but I look to see if they reply to comments. It's one thing to push out content, but the ROI is in the comments. It's the first thing I do every day. I reply to every single comment on every platform that there is. Yeah, it takes a lot of work. This is why you need a full-time employee. But that's the devil's in the details, man. It's you got to get down with it.
Nice. Listen, thank you guys for coming to the show. How can everybody get in touch with you?
Ooh. I'll go first.
Yeah.
Please
Ladies first.
ask a giraffe.
You can find me everywhere on social media. Ask a Concierge. .tv is my website, but Ask a Concierge everywhere else. Or Sarah Dandestreet on LinkedIn.
And at Mr. Scott Eddy, EDDY. That's it.
And thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. This is Bruce Short and the Microjournal Hotels signing out.
Hey, what's going on? It's Bruce Short, the hotel revenue expert. I just want to take a quick second to thank you for watching this video. If you could just do us a big favor and just subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more videos like this, more information, great information about hotels. I'm also the author of the Hotel Revenue Bible. You can get that book on hotelrevenuebible.com. And we are here to answer all your questions. So if you have any questions, just shoot us a quick text at 321-321-2002. That's 321-321-2002. And you can book a revenue call. Go to hotelrevenuecall.com and we can answer any and all your questions. Just make an appointment with me. You'll do one-on-one with me. You'll be able to do one-on-one with me, and we could go ahead and get all your questions answered and see if you have any revenue issues that needs to be resolved. Talk to you soon. Thank you again. Hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate you.